what? You know what? Hang on. You know what I'm gonna do?
Are you gonna put this above S? What's up, agents? Zer here. I'm here with my good friend TGC once again. It's actually been a while since he's been in a video with me, all things considered. So, welcome back, dude.
Yup, I'm here. What's up?
Alright, so we're actually going to be doing something that I want to believe is going to get a bit of views, although mainly I just kind of wanted to do this. We're actually going to be putting together a tier list inside of Minecraft, which I've actually seen happen quite a bit over the past few months, and we're doing it, as you can tell, based off of food, and I thought maybe you might be able to help me out with actually putting this list together, because I think that would be kind of fun.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm down to help.
Alright, so before we go ahead and get started, I do have some ground rules that I want you guys watching to understand before we go ahead and get started. So it's going to be based on filled hunger and saturation only, so status effects, crafting, and stacking will be completely ignored. So for example, rotten flesh giving you the hunger status effect, which effectively basically negates the fact that you ate in the first place. That will be completely ignored, along with crafting like cake and stacking. So hopefully that makes some amount of sense. I realize some foods will more than likely be lower because of this, but that would give them either a fair advantage or disadvantage, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Alright. And then also we do have I actually renamed all this so that we can actually kind of understand what's going on here. So it's in this format, A to B is over C, and that's basically so that A is hunger, B is saturation, and C is total quality. 1 point of either is half a bar. I'm sure you guys are already aware of that. And saturation can't actually fill partial points, so you're going to see decimal points here. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know for sure, but that's going to help at least the two of us out when we're putting this list together.
Yep, for sure.
Alright, so you ready to go ahead and get started?
I'm ready to get started.
Alright, so we've got ourselves the apple. It has 4 hunger and 2.4 saturation, which gives us 6.4 total food point. Actually, let me go ahead and let you pick that up so you can look at it.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah. Where do you think this should probably go? And we're going like based off of the normal tier list that we've seen in other videos and on other places online. Alright, so 6.4 total effectiveness. I don't think it would. I don't think it would be F, because I know that there are other things that would definitely fall under F, and I think this definitely is higher. But I definitely do believe it should be fairly low.
I think it should be either a D. I think it should be a D.
You think the apple should be a D?
Yeah.
All right. So we've got that. Okay, so that's our first one. Let's go ahead and get this gotten rid of. Alright, baked potato with a total effectiveness of 11.
Okay. Alrighty. Baked potato. Where are we gonna put this guy at? So it has,
I mean, the effectiveness is 11. I'd say it goes a little bit higher up, obviously.
Because this one's a effectiveness of 6.4.
Yeah.
The apple is.
Do you think maybe B for the baked potato?
Yeah,
or A.
I'm going to say B for the baked potato. Yeah.
That's actually kind of interesting. B for baked potato starts with B. Go figure.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Alright. Beetroot. Ooh, 2.2. That definitely belongs at an F, I believe.
See, the beetroot surely didn't beat anyone in this competition.
Oh my gosh. Alright. And now we have beetroot soup. Oh, did you need to pick that up? I'm sorry, I've completely forgot.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Alright. Okay, so again, we're kind of ignoring the whole crafting recipe, so this is gonna be non-stackable, but we're gonna, like I said, based off of the other factors that we mentioned. So 13.2, well, we gave the baked potato a B for having 11.
11, right.
Do
I
we?
think it should go up to A, because I do know that there are some that go up clear to 16.
Yes, I do
So-
know. So let's put that at A. And we can potentially just change this around if we decide we need to, so that's not too big of a deal.
Right, yep.
Alright,
Now
so
we have bread. Ooh, okay.
bread. Okay. Bread gives 11 as well. Well, it matches the baked potatoes, so I say we keep that at B as well.
Yeah, let's just keep that there.
Alright.
And then the cake. So this
Okay.
is just a slice of cake. Not
Yeah,
both
we've
of
got
cakes.
both a cake and for a slice and a cake as a whole. So obviously let's go ahead and start with, I'm going to go ahead and grab both just so that we can start off. Do you have both?
Yep, I have both.
Alright. Alright, so the regular cake, just as a slice, gives 2.4.
Ooh, that's like in the F area, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. Let's go ahead and put that down there. Now, the whole cake itself, 16.8.
That would have to be... That's insanely high, especially for that. So
Yeah.
I would say, you know what? Since it's just cake and how high it is, I think it's a clear A. I mean, an S. Yes, an S. Sorry.
Alright, fine. Let's go ahead and put that in S. I actually agree. We can change it if we decide we need to, but that'll be fine. Alright.
Yes.
Carrots, 6.6.
6.6. That would have to be a C. I would say that. Actually, 6.6.
It's very close to
It's
an
very
apple,
close to
but it's
yeah.
pretty far below the bread. Does it go in between at the C, or do we also put it at D?
That's a tough choice. I'm gonna have to say.
What if we put it like in between? What if we do this, and then we can determine it later on which two it actually belongs in?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Does that seem fair?
Does
that seem fair?
Yeah.
Alright. Moving on, chorus fruit, we've got 6.4. That seems... Okay, that's exactly the same as an apple. That's exactly the same as an apple. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Cooked chicken, 13.2. Okay, that's not bad. And the beetroot soup is actually the same. But, hold on. Okay, so it's actually exactly the same on both hunger and saturation as beetroot soup. I was trying to determine if, like, maybe one side was better than the other, but no.
I think if it's rated an A, yeah.
Exactly right there?
Yep, exactly right there.
Alright, and so, oh my gosh,
okay,
I keep...
I don't mean to interrupt, but I forgot one special thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to be stared at, because this is my ultimate move.
Oh no.
Food review!
Okay.
There we go.
Right, okay, Pubes, there you
review.
go. You've got your shout out. Alright,
Of course.
Cooked cod. Okay.
Okay. I know that you're a fisher, Zero, so you should know a bit about food, especially from fishing.
I mean, personally, I'm more of a fan of cooked salmon, but obviously, cooked cod is fairly okay.
Right.
So, cooked cod has a hunger of 5 and saturation of 6, so a total of 11.
I'm gonna have to say this has to go in B as well.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. This is actually going fairly simple. I mean, we did have a little bit of an issue with the carrot, which we can determine later on, but other than that,
Right.
Okay, cooked mutton. This is sheep. 6 and 9.6 for 15.6. Did you grab it, dude?
Yes. Yep. I grabbed it.
All right, 15.6.
That's a total effectiveness of 15.
All right, so that's like
fine.
right between the whole cake and the cooked chicken.
I think we're gonna have to put this at a draw.
Just like the carrots. Just like the carrots.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
All right.
So now we have the good old original cooked pork chop.
That one is definitely S. I mean, that's already hit 20.
I mean, yes. Oh, that is for sure an S. That's like top S.
Yes. Okay, cooked rabbit is at an
Rabbit, okay.
11, which we have matched with a couple of other things.
Right.
It looks like
So
B has just been all 11'd here. That's kind of interesting.
yeah, that is insanely interesting.
Alright. Cooked
Okay.
salmon. Alright. So this
Okay,
one's
so this is the one that you like
15.6.
eating most of the time.
Right. This
Okay.
is what I usually eat, and if this were up to me, I would actually put this at S, but that would be way too biased. Unless you agree on
And
this.
it does match with the cooked mutton. It does match with that.
It
But
does,
fishing
yes.
is probably one of the most useful things in Minecraft, and I know we're not going to judge off of that fact, but I would have to say
Right.
this is probably an S tier, to be completely honest.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, I would be biased and put an S tier regardless, but considering the fact that fishing can... Okay, I know we were going to base this off of just hunger and saturation, but considering the fact that you can go fishing, get experience, and you can get a ton of other things as well, I mean, salmon's actually not too bad.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
Again, I know that we were going to base this off of just what we said earlier, but that's actually something kind of important to mention. Cookies. Right. Okay, so 2 hunger and 0.4 saturation for 2.4.
Ooh.
This one...
As much as I love the idea of cookies, it's an F.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And kelp, dried kelp. That's also an F. That is also an F.
F. Yep. I'll rip the dried kelp.
I mean, to be fair, you do use it to cook a lot of your food, but that's... I know we just simply did the salmon with the whole fishing aspect, but I can't do that because that's not... you smelt it. Alright.
Right.
Alright,
Ooh,
so
an
let's...
enchanted apple. So
enchanted...
a notch apple. Okay.
So notch apple versus the regular golden apple. Now, enchanted apple obviously can't craft anymore, so that makes it that much more valuable.
They're both 13.6 though.
That is true.
But one gives you... Okay, I know we're not going to judge off like pure usability, but the enchanted apple does give you enhanced effects.
They both... Okay, technically they both do. But the enchanted apple does give you better stuff. I will say that much.
We're going to have to rate this off of that fact just for these two.
Okay, so before we do that, the enchanted apple we can't actually craft anymore, so we actually have to go ahead and find and loot, so it makes it super rare, whereas the golden apple we actually can still craft, although we could still find it in chests.
Right. So we can base this off of two things. Its usability or its rare ability.
I mean, if we take a look, I don't know if this is gonna happen in your resource packs, but I do notice that it does have some colored, which I actually did not add when I renamed these.
Yes, yeah. Yep, it does. See, okay, so the enchanted golden apple is more rare than the golden apple itself.
Correct. And we can't craft it, like I said. I say we put this in S tier.
And we can craft it. Yeah, I'm going to say we put that in S tier, and as much as I love the golden apple itself... Wait, well, now that I think about it, I think they should both deserve it. Because just for crafting of the golden apple, you can get so many of them.
Correct.
Just crafting it.
Oh, and also curing zombie villagers.
Yeah, so I think its usability will...
Alright.
Yeah, put it in the S tier.
Alright, so... For cooked mutton, do you think that with everything that we've discussed, do we move that down to A?
I feel like we should discuss the cooked mutton and everything, and especially the carrots at the end, and I think we should base that off of usability and findability. Like, if you're able to find it more, etc. Yeah.
Alright, I understand that. Alright, so next up we have golden carrots, which that has one of the highest saturations, but does only do 6 food points, so that's effectively 3 hunger bars.
So, just for hunger...
I mean... Okay, if we were to base it off of what we did with the cooked pork chop with how much effectiveness it did, then it would technically go up in S. However, it's got a lower hunger and much higher saturation. And plus you're using golden nuggets, which admittedly is it golden nuggets or is it golden ingots?
I think it's golden nuggets.
Alright. So admittedly you are going to have to find golden ore to get this super powerful food, but at the same time...
Well, it doesn't fill up your hunger that much. So I would have to say it's honestly an A.
I mean...
if you do agree.
I mean, I know people down in the comments are going to disagree just simply because of the fact that it does so much saturation and plus it's so close to the cooked pork chop, but hopefully what we just said makes some amount of sense.
And plus it basically costs gold to even make it.
I mean, technically speaking, so do the different golden apples, but at the same time, it only does saturation. It doesn't have like extra effect, which mainly we said we weren't going to do, but we kind of broke that rule already. Melon, 2 and 1.2 for 3.2 total.
I think it's an... Okay,
I think this one should be the first... I think this one should be the first E, because, I mean, when you harvest them, then you get quite a bit back.
Yes, you do get a large quantity of them. That is true.
Right.
You have a point.
Alright, mushroom stew. So we've got 13.2 for this one.
13.2, so that would match up with the...
That would match up with the other, the beetroot soup stew.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you say that works?
Yeah. Okay. Poisonous potato.
Ooh.
Like anybody who would actually eat that.
I mean, yeah. 3.2. I mean, we did the same thing with the melon, except for the fact the melon we get a lot more, whereas poisonous potato is like
negative effect. And I know we're not going to judge off of that.
I mean, yeah, but also it's like a very rare drop when you harvest the potatoes to begin with.
You know what? I think we can stick it up with the E.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so now the regular uncooked potato. That's worse. That is actually worse. How is an uncooked potato worse than the poisonous potato? That doesn't make...
brings that up. Now that we bring that up, maybe this... Yeah, I think this deserves to stay up here, considerably. And I don't know why, but the potato deserves the F tier.
Yeah, although admittedly you get a bit more.
Yeah.
That was difficult. I say we put this one also in between.
Yeah, we definitely do that.
Alright. Next up, the good old derpy pufferfish.
I think we're already decided on this one.
Yes, I agree. Okay, pumpkin pie. Okay, 12.8. Did you get it, dude?
That is not bad. Yes, yep, I got it. So I think that should be, this... So it's between A and B at this point.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does deserve a B tier just because of its crafting and you need a lot more resources for it.
I mean, yeah. Again, it seems like we're breaking like way more rules than we thought we were going to, apparently.
Zer0, this is food review. We have to break the rules.
Okay, rabbit stew has a total of 22.
22. Okay.
Alright. Part of me says to put it in S because of how much it does. But part of me, we've been kind of breaking our own rules, and getting the actual rabbit meat itself is a little bit difficult.
Right.
So part of me is part of me is saying S and part of me is saying A.
Do you think we should leave this as a draw?
I don't know. You know, let's go ahead and do that just in case.
Gotcha.
Alright, the raw steak, raw beef, whatever you want to call it. Depends on who you talk to.
Beef. So that's a 4.8. That's higher than all these in F. So, it's also higher than a lot of these.
It's higher than... I'd say we put this in D.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Alright. The raw chicken. I'd say this one also belongs in E.
Yep.
I mean, it does give you poison, which if you actually have decent saturation when the poison wears, or does it also give you hunger as well?
It also gives you hunger, yeah.
But it's also 80% chance of getting it, so I say we ignore that like we've been saying we were
Yes.
trying to.
Yep.
Alright. Raw cod, 2.4.
2.4. Well, that's oh, that's actually we have a 2.4 down here with the cookie.
Yes, but you can get a ton of fish from fishing, as I mentioned before. So I say
So
we put
yeah,
the.
I think it deserves an E.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're down to our last row, and then we also have to kind of sort out our ties. Raw mine at 3.2. I mean, we have a bunch of 3.2s down in E.
Ooh. This does not give you any negative effects. I know we've been trying to avoid that, but it really doesn't. So I would keep it an E.
Right. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so next up we've got ourselves the raw pork chop, which we've already took the cooked variation and put it at S.
I'm gonna have to say put this in D with the raw beef.
Yeah, I agree. And then the raw rabbit, which this one's 4.8.
Gotcha. 4.8, so that would be down probably.
I'd say E on this one because it's so incredibly difficult to actually get the rabbit in the first place.
Right.
I mean, we do have some 4.8s in D, but I kind of have to do it for that. The rarity.
Yeah.
Plus, getting the actual rabbits, like, getting near them to begin with, that's kind of difficult. Alright, raw salmon.
Yeah. Raw salmon.
I'd say this one is also an E because it's 2.4 and that's pretty low.
Right. Rotten flesh.
Ooh. Alright. Okay, this one I do want to, like, strictly ignore the whole hunger effect because without it, then, well, I want to believe you have 4.8.
What about the, like, how about, like, how many you get, like the quantity of them? Because they do stack up over time.
Yes, and if you have a zombie grinder, you can get a ton of them.
Right. I think this deserves a D tier.
A D tier? Alright.
Yeah.
Or does it deserve a C? I mean, admittedly, we did mention the whole hunger thing, and we're trying to avoid that.
I mean,
but at the same time, you can get a ton from a grinder.
And they have saved my life a couple of times.
Okay,
so.
yeah, okay, then let's go ahead and put that at C then.
Okay, there you go.
And if you guys want to go ahead and debate this down in the comments, and mainly we are trying to stick to our rules despite the fact that we've been kind of ignoring a few of these. But this is kind of like up for debate if you guys disagree with some of these things. It's perfectly fine.
Right, yeah.
Alright, the spider eye. This one's 5.5, and this one also is technically farmable with a grinder, but spiders are kind of harder to do grinders for.
Yeah, that is true.
Plus, they also have usefulness in potions.
They do. And honestly, I think that might just deserve the same C.
Okay, you think so?
Flesh.
You think so? Alright.
So.
Alright, we've got ourselves cooked steak at 20. This one's an instant S.
Oh, that's definitely an instant F. Not F, I meant S.
You misspoke, but I knew what you meant.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so now we have...
Suspicious stew.
Alright, so just so you guys are aware, in Bedrock Edition, we do not have this just yet, but hopefully we'll get it soon. But I kind of decided when I was putting this together that we should probably include it regardless.
And I have tried Mysterious Stew a couple of times.
In Java Edition.
Completely random effects.
And I actually have seen an actual add-on for 1.12 with experimental gameplay that implements it in, so it's not like officially in the game just yet. I might actually review that at some point if I can remember where on MCPDL it is. All right, so 13.2.
Take the effect thing in mind.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can have both positive effects. You can also have negative effects. And in the case of regular mushroom stew, you can get this from a mushroom, and you can do the same thing with suspicious stew with a brown mushroom, which is going to be implemented soon as well, but you have to feed it the actual...
Right.
Do we just put it at the same, because you mentioned the effects, but it can have both positive and negative.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say put it in A.
Yeah, alright. We've got 2 more left. We've got the sweet berries, which this is 2 and 0.4 for 2.4. I mean, it's really low, but if you have a decent amount planted, you gain a ton super quickly.
That is true. That is insanely true. Still though, if we're gonna be looking off what the melon is, it may get more quantity, but they also do fill up more of your food bar considerably.
So is this an E or an F? Because mainly we did mention quantity, but at the same time it does a lot less. Although melon takes a lot longer to harvest, whereas you can get berries like instantaneously. So does this stay at E?
I'm gonna have to probably debate on S. I mean not S, but on F.
I
don't know.
Is
these two.
Is this an in-between?
I think this is in-between.
Alright. One final one, and then we can go ahead and debate our final one's tropical fish. This one's an F. This one's an instant F. I can say that much.
Oh yeah.
Plus, you can't even cook it.
Fish.
What the heck, Mojang? Let's cook these tropical fish. It's useless.
It generally is, yeah. It is pretty much useless.
Alright, so let's go ahead and do our final, like, decision-making with what we've decided, like, ties. So let's go ahead. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up.
Gotcha.
Alright, so... First up, let me go ahead and actually I can just break them out of their respective time frames. All right, so let's start with the sweet berries. So we mentioned the amount that you can get in a short amount of time, but does so little for your hunger.
Okay, so I want to discuss something really quickly. For these that are debatable, right? For all the debatable ones, should we add in and cancel out the rule of basically quantity and effect and all that stuff? Should we just add that in just to make it more easier for us to debate them? I
think so.
Because these things can hurt the player when they're fully grown.
Right.
That's a thing that we can also drop in there and see if that will sway the side.
And I've also heard that if you can set it up correctly, it's Actually, never mind. I was about to say it's decent for mob farms, but only hurts you when you're moving. And that includes mobs. Yeah. So that's out of the question. I say if we add that in, we gotta move it down to F. What do you think?
I think it deserves an F.
Alright, there we go. Alright, so what do we have next? Carrots
potatoes.
Between C and...
We also have the potatoes.
Oh, right, I completely forgot about that. I mean, this one also you can get decent quantity with a really good farm.
Yeah.
And if you're like any super... Also, you can actually trade these with villagers, and if you get a decent trade, you can get a ton of emeralds.
That is a good fact.
Alright, let's move this to...
I think we should... Yeah, yep.
You agree? Alright. Okay, now let's move on to carrots. I completely forgot the potatoes. I apologize. This one's kind of in the same boat with potatoes with the whole villager thing and getting a ton.
Right.
Do we incorporate that?
Good for farms, so.
Yeah. Do we also incorporate and also pigs? We can breed pigs with them. Do we move this up to C then?
Yes, I think we should move that up to C.
All right, let's move that up to C. B and no, not B and A. We've got A and S with the mutton and the rabbit stew. Let's start with the mutton first.
Okay.
Alright.
Mutton.
Okay, so...
I mean, you do get these from naturally farming sheep. And you can always breed sheep as well.
Alright, hear me out on this. Okay, hear me out on this. Early game, you're trying to get wool, and most likely you do not have shears, so you're actually going to end up killing the sheep, so you have access to the mutton. And obviously you're going to want to cook it because it has a lot more food points.
Yeah, that is true.
So for the sake of early game, do we put it at S?
I think we should put it at S, yeah.
Alright. Okay, so last but not least, rabbit stew. Okay.
Oh, we also have the mushroom stew. Wait, no. Why are these two here?
This one's the mushroom stew, and this one's suspicious stew, since we
yeah,
don't have
suspicious
suspicious stew
gotcha.
in the game in Bedrock Edition just yet.
They look the same. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't really have much of a choice. I apologize, but yeah. All right, so rabbit stew. Okay, so I know we were gonna ignore crafting recipes, but we kind of broke that a few times. So this requires like a few different crops, as well as trying to find and kill rabbits, which that itself is difficult. But
yeah,
does do it. Do we just put an A because of how difficult it is to get some of the stuff?
Well, I feel like if it's more difficult, then we should lower it down to an A.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Right. I think that would be the highest one in A as well, for at least the food.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I think that works.
Alright, that's actually not too bad of a list. We got a few holes here, but we're gonna ignore that for now. I know it's probably ruining some people's OCD.
Oh, I'm gonna fix it.
Oh, you're gonna fix it. Okay, if you want to fix it, I'll...
Yeah, I'm gonna fix this quickly. But I mean, I think everything turned out just fine with this.
I mean, yeah. This works out fairly well. And yeah, there we go. There's the sweet berries. So, yeah, that's actually not too bad. So let's do a quick final review of what we did. You want to do from S to F?
Yeah.
Alright,
let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so starting with S, we've got ourselves a whole cake, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this one actually does 14 full hunger points. So that's actually a full hunger bar plus some. So you have some for later. That's actually something we hadn't thought about.
You know what? Hang on. You know what I'm gonna do?
Are you gonna put this above S?
Yes, we are. We're making the pink tier, boys. Okay, you know what? Yes, I'm adding this to the tier list. It's gonna be the pink tier. Okay? Yep, there you go. Go ahead and replace that. We don't need much. There you go. Okay. We're adding that up. The mysterious pink tier.
We don't even know what to call this, and we're gonna put it there anyway.
Let's just call it the mysterious pink tier.
We can call it M. I'll put a banner there later, but we can go ahead and take care of that. But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't think about that. Okay, so apparently, apparently a whole cake is actually better than the S tier. Go figure that one out. All right, so
I feel like we should call this tier the SS tier.
There you go. That works. There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, so I know this isn't pink, but let's go ahead and do this for right now.
It's so off even, but that's okay, because it's the SS tier, boys.
Alright, then going back down to S, we've got steak at 20.8 effectiveness, cooked salmon at 15.6, mutton at 15.6 cooked, and then cooked pork chop 20.8, and both the golden apples at 13.6 respectively. And then moving on to A, we've got... You want to go off and do A?
Okay,
we can just alternate the layers, I suppose.
Yeah, so we have cooked chicken with a 6 and a 7.2, and overall just 13.2, which does actually match up, I believe, with the beetroot soup.
Yes.
Exactly right on the dot. We have the rabbit stew with 22. We have the mushroom stew with 13.2, as well with the beetroot soup and the chicken. And then we have the golden carrot, which was extremely debatable. So I would say this is actually the largest out of the group. No, not the largest. Yeah, I think the rabbit stew beats out on that. Which is a 20.4. And then we have just the suspicious stew at the 13.2. We did not add in the fact that it does give you... Well, we did add in the fact, because it was debatable, That
Right.
does give you positive and negative effects, but it's extremely random.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, actually, it's not exactly random. It actually depends on what flour you put in, but you actually don't know if you didn't make it yourself.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so moving on to B tier, we've got ourselves the baked potato and the bread, both at 11. We've got cooked cod, also 11, cooked rabbit, and then pumpkin pie at 12.8.
Yep.
And,
For the C tier, we only have 3 in the C tier.
I mean, yeah.
Surprisingly, the rotten flesh climbed clear from F and D to C. That's actually extremely surprising.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, the spider eye. The main reason we put that up there was because of its usability in brewing. So
right.
That's interesting. And then we just have the normal carrot for farming quantity overall.
Yep.
So.
And then D tier, we got ourselves the apple, which is actually pretty good if you're cutting down trees when you get started, but you don't get too many. So we didn't discuss that, but I think it stays at D tier because you don't get too many. We've got raw beef at 4.8, chorus fruit at 6.4, and then raw pork chop at 4.8. And then we've got a total of 8 at E.
Wait, what?
We've got a total of 8 at E.
Oh god, yeah.
That's actually the biggest.
We have the melon, which is 3.2. And then we have surprisingly the poisonous potato, which I really thought it was going to go in F, but we decided to actually put it in E, which has a 3.2 as well.
Yeah.
We have raw mutton, which is 3.2. We have raw rabbit, which is actually 4.8. We have the raw chicken, which is 3.2 as well. We have the raw cod, which is 2.4. We have the potato at 1.6, and of course, the all-god and almighty salmon.
The raw salmon.
I forgot the name of it.
The raw salmon.
Yeah, salmon. Sorry. At a 2.4.
And
I think that's the Yeah, I think the potato really lost with D tier.
Yeah,
I thought
it
the potato
definitely
was
did.
really gonna beat
Yeah.
everything else, but
right. And then last but not least, the F tier, the foods that you probably should not eat. So we've got a cake slice, which actually is contradictory because it's all the way at double S as whole. Go figure that one out. But we've got that at 2.4. We've also got beetroot at 2.2, cookies at 2.4, tropical fish at 1.2, dry kelp 1.6, pufferfish at 1.2, and then the sweet berries at 2.4. And yeah, that's actually not too bad, all things considered. And again, down in the comment section, if you guys kind of disagree with any of this and you have other ideas on where certain other things should technically belong, maybe some things need to be moved up, maybe some things need to be moved down, make sure to let us know down in the comments, because we're actually kind of interested in hearing your feedback. And actually, I think we're kind of proud of what we put together. What do you think?
I think we're extremely proud of this.
Alright, so yeah, this is actually where we're going to go ahead and end things off again. Thanks, TGC, for helping me out with this tier list. This was actually pretty fun, and the fact that we debated a lot of this, we put a lot of thought into this, admittedly.
Oh yeah, and of course you broke some rules.
I mean, yeah, I kind of expected it, but it was just like basically base rules, so I guess it's kind of expected. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're getting things off. Thank you guys for watching. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want more, make sure to check TGC's channel out, subscribe to him. And if you're new to my channel, you can subscribe to us as well. And our Twitter links will be down in the description as well. So thanks for watching. Anything you want to say before we end things off, dude?
Of course. Food review!
Yep, food review is over. See you guys later. Bye.